We are back again tonight, or, well, it won't be tonight when you see this, but talking about the MGM situation, rocking my same blue shirt again for this video. And, man, this video I'm doing right now, I really was not expecting it to be the type of video I'm going to do. So, and I'll explain as I go through this. So, you know, some of you saw on social media, I put this out on Twitter the other day that, I put this out the day MGM posted it, so that would be today, as I'm filming this, that MGM put out on social media that all hotels and casinos were operating normally. And I got really excited when I saw that. I even quote tweeted it, right? Mentioned that MGM is making progress against the Cyberattack. I was like, good, man, this is good news. In the video I did yesterday, I actually pinned a link to this. I'm like, this is good news coming out of it. After like 10 days, you know, they put in their update that said, we are pleased that all of our hotels and casinos are operating normally. Once I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is great. I was excited to come back over here to the Strip, check out the property. You know, I was like, everything's back to normal. I'm like, want to go, hey, good job, team. Like, nothing can stop Vegas. This thing is over. Took them 10 days to do it, but they got it done. Now they get the cash flow back on track. Now they can focus on getting all the any employee pay issues and stuff like that resolved. Like, they stopped the bleeding of, you know, losing money. Now they can focus on everything else. I'm like, this is good progress. I was like so happy to hear this and see this. And then I came down here to the Strip. And, you know, I walked into Bellagio, saw an employee who was super nice, said hi to him, fist bumped him, right, because I was all excited. You know, walked into a couple in the lobby who was walking back over to Park MGM because I'm like, hey, everything's back up, yeah? They're like, yeah. They said, guy said, my wife's got thousands of dollars in a free play we're going to go use, or in comps or something like that. We're going to go use those over at Park MGM. Like, mood was feeling great. Walking the casino floor, and I asked one couple who recognized me, hey, is your slot machine printing out a voucher? Like, it's working well? I said, oh, yeah, everything's working fine. I'm like, good, cool. And then I saw a woman who was waiting to get paid out on her machine for $13. She was waiting for an attendant to come. I asked another employee, I went and asked an employee, I said, hey, how many people have you seen waiting to get paid out? He goes, oh, I've seen a lot. I've seen that woman there. I've seen this group over here. And I was like, I thought all the machines were operating normally. Like, people were getting their vouchers from them. Nobody was having to wait for an attendant anymore or anything like that. And the guy was like, no, there's people who've been waiting. I said, but some of them are working. He goes, I think some of them are working. You know, I checked the sportsbook. Sportsbook said, hey, they've been, you know, fine so far, right? Because they were working just fine a week ago. Then Saturday they were down. Sunday they were off and on. They said, hey, we've been working fine. One employee told me that 75% of the slot machines are working on the floor. But as I went through, it's hard to say. I asked one employee who was, you know, paying people out. I said, hey, can you show me a slot machine that's working and paying the customers out? She goes, man, I can't even tell you. Because here's the deal with slots. You know, some were printing out vouchers. Some were not. Some would accept cash to play. Some would not. Some machines might look like you'd play it, but you'd put your cash or voucher and it would not accept it. Other machines were clearly down, or they had tape over that said out of order. So it was not normal. I put $1 in this slot right here. It accepted my dollar, no problem. Make an 88-cent bet. Okay, now I'm gonna see if I can get a voucher, because they did say that vouchers were printing out. All right, so this machine prints out the voucher just fine. Now, other machines are not. I've seen people at machines waiting for an attendant to come pay them. So some print out the voucher fine, some still do not. The other thing to keep in mind too is not all machines are even going to accept cash or a voucher. So I tried to put $1 in this machine earlier, it would not accept it. Same game, and it won't accept the voucher right now. So this one looks like you can play it, but it's actually not working at all. Now, you have some machines that are just completely out of service still. You have other machines that at first glance would look like you can play, but you can't because they're out of order. So this machine I tried earlier to put $1 in would not take it. So you'll see some of them look operational, but they're not. You know, and even when I first saw, I put on my Twitter saying, hey, that, you know, they're making progress. MGM says they're operating normally. At least one person said, well, the app's not working. And I went and checked my app was like, oh yeah, that's right, the app isn't working. So even before I came down, I was like, well, the app's not working, maybe everything else is working. But I'm like, okay, now I have app not working, slot machines are not working normally, so app's not working normally to make reservations, slots not working normally to play. I saw electronic roulette table, some of those were down. Then I went over to Aria to check it out there. They had electronic, I think it was craps, the stadium seating. And 5 of the 8 machines, or the betting stations, that were down, just had a black screen. They were completely down. And I'm walking through Aria, and I saw a 6-pack of slot machines, screen completely black. Now, there were machines working. People were playing. But, to say operating normally, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, is this really normal operation? People are still having to wait to get paid out. A customer at Aria said, like 70% of the slot machines there, like 70 to 80% were working normally. But I saw an ATM machine that was working fine the other day that was down. And then about 15 feet away, there was a temporary ATM machine that was also down. So I'm looking around, I'm like, this doesn't seem like normal operations to me. Like, this is not, 10 plus years of living in Las Vegas, this is not what I normally see when I go on to the casino floor. So, I came to the strip with all this excitement, like, was going to tell you guys, great, dude, this is awesome, we're good to go. Hey, keep your plans, come here. Everything's fine, we're good. They just got to get some stuff resolved with the employees. But as far as, customers and travelers, dude, we're good to go. So to see this the way it was, rather disappointing. I really wanted to come here and, tell you guys how back on track everything was. I mean, I was just thinking this is going to be so good. This is finally behind us. Then I went to thinking, okay, why would you publish that you're operating normally when you're not? Like, why would you tell everyone that you're operating normally when you aren't? I mean, I was disappointed just driving like 20 minutes to get over here. How disappointed is someone going to be when they come from out of state and they saw that, like, oh yeah, things are operating normally. Good, yeah, let's keep our travel plans. Let's go. Then you get here and it's like, no, this is not what the company said. The company published that everything's fine, everything's operating normally, and it's not. So if you're coming from another state and you're spending your money here, that's going to make some people unhappy. This is the second time in this whole situation where MGM has, I would say, overpromised and underdelivered. I mean, they put it out to their employees that everybody was going to get paid on time, so employees will get paid on time. Well, I had numerous employees come and tell me they were not. They were getting paid late, or they were having to, try to get a check expedited to get cut for them, or there were issues with their hours and things like that. So, even with that, it's like, okay, how many employees is it? I mean, I'm not going to know. Unless you're like working in payroll or something, you're not going to know. So maybe it was only a certain amount of employees, okay? Or maybe it was a smaller amount. Maybe the vast majority were taken care of, could be. But when you tell all your customers who follow you that everything's running normally, and they come here, and I see with my own 2 eyes, my eyes aren't very big, but they generally work pretty well. And I see it, and I even, put some of my own money in the machine to see how stuff's working, and I'm like, nah, this is not what, they had, it's not what they had put out. So the big issue for this is really for the employees. I mean, this is just, as I'm looking at this, the outside looking in, I'm thinking they just made it a lot tougher on their frontline employees, because, to think about it, this puts the frontline employees in a tough spot, because if a customer sees that everything's fine and it's not, there's a good chance they're going to be unhappy. And if they're angry, who do you think they're going to take it out on? They're going to take it out on that frontline employee. They're going to take it out on that person who has no control over what the company puts out, but they're wearing the company uniform. The customer's going to be like, well, your company said this was what was going on. Your company said everything was going normally. Why is it not? So I think it puts the employees in a tough spot. It's really unfortunate for them. So, I thought this was going to be like a celebration video, like happy, like, right, we're good, we're past this. But, that's not what I'm able to put out here today. So, I've been doing this since 2014. and I have spent money at MGM properties, whether it's a hotel room, right? I'm, doing a review there, whether it's gambling, tipping employees. I've covered activities that they have on their properties as things to do. I've talked about their credit card before and their benefits, because it does have some really good benefits I think are of value to people who come to Vegas on a fairly regular basis. I've talked about their discounts that they do, deals for military, for seniors, for locals. I've put it in my other social media before. So MGM is a huge part of Las Vegas here, a huge part of the economy. So I love to see Vegas do well. And as excited as I was this morning to, come down and tell the whole world, hey, we're good to go, man. Vegas is back on track. Everything is fine. From what I saw with my own two eyes, from the employees I talked to, and from guests I talked to, yes, there's been some improvement, but it's not normal. It's not operating normally. This is not what it was just 2 weeks ago, which is also kind of brings up the question of, like, if you're making progress, like I would say they gradually are. Okay, some of this has been, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, right? Certain things have been they've worked for a while and they, take a step backwards. So, but I would say ultimately it's been some gradual progress, right? The fact that, more of the slot machines are giving a voucher at all is progress. So if you're making progress, I don't see the need to tell people to just make an overpromise to people. If you're still making progress, I think it would have been better off to say, hey, more of our slot machines are now giving out vouchers, and telling people that instead of saying everything's fine when it's not. So, but I also don't run a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I'm small business owner, okay, not massive corporation here. So again, this is from what I can see on the ground level, from what I can share with you guys. And it is the employees who I really feel sorry for in this whole thing, because they're the ones who already have to deal with angry customers when everything is operating normally anyway. When you have a situation like this, it can certainly get worse. The employees on the front line are going to be the ones who take the brunt of it, and that's the most unfortunate thing right now that I can see since this whole situation has started. So, I don't know how many people are going to see this, right? I'm not a major news corporation, right? I'm not CNN or Fox or NBC or ABC. I'm a guy with a cell phone, okay? I go around, right? I get some footage, I share it with you. That's what I do, okay? I share the footage I can with you, and I try to take all the information coming at me in this whole situation the best I can to give you, the most full picture of what's going on, so that you can make whatever travel arrangements you deem are best for you. So, to see this right now, to see what I saw today after that was published, I was disappointed. That's probably the best way I could put it, is just disappointed that what I was told and a lot of you were told and what was put out was not what I saw. It was not what I got. And I live here, okay? It took me about 20 minutes to get on property. People traveling from hundreds or thousands of miles away that spent hundreds or thousands of dollars, for their trip, they're not going to be happy. And, the concern I have, particularly for MGM, is that they're doing even more damage, unnecessary damage, by the way they've handled some of this since it's come out. So, at this point, the next thing they put out, I don't know. Like, whatever they put out, like, I'm not gonna, take it for what they're saying. Like, that's twice now that it has that, once for the employees and once for the customers. They put something out that was, and the one here for the customers, the most recent one, is the most noticeable one, because everybody in 2023 has a cell phone. Anybody can go in on any of their properties, take a photo, take a little video, share it, and people are going to see, hey, stuff's not operating normally, or they can just pull out their phone, pull up the app. Don't even have to leave their couch and be like, well, the app's not working. Normally, the app is operating just fine, but it's not. Like, people are going to notice. People are going to see that. So, I don't know. I'll cut it here. So I've been going for a little bit. I think you guys get the sentiment. For the employees, that's what I feel sorry for. So please, if you're going to be coming, all I can do is ask that you be patient. The employees, especially these frontline employees who are dealing with this the most, not their fault, okay? This is well out of their control, really, and a lot of the stuff I'm hearing from different people, it's a lot of information coming my way, but as I look at the situation, other than probably a handful of people at the very top of the corporation and other, consultants and people in law enforcement they're working for, no one probably has a full understanding outside of those handful of people. So I'll piece together what I can. I'll share with you guys what I can. But, today I would say was, this whole situation was not good. So I do appreciate you guys watching. For all the employees, keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I know it's tough. This is definitely frustrating, but just, hey, keep up the good work. I'm sure I'll see some of you guys around, as I'm out and about. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing a good job. If you're coming here, please be patient. That's it for this video. I am Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.